Hello Python students. Today's objective is to go to Google Classroom and complete the Lesson C list. If you go ahead, there should be a Google Doc and also a Python emulator. So I'll open up both of them and I'll demonstrate what the Python emulator looks like. Here's the classroom notes I'm going to have you fill out today, and then here is an emulator. Uh, Actually, the emulator, if I just go back into, let me show you what, open a new tab. When you click on that link, this is what's going to pop up. The emulator, it doesn't save your code. You can type your script in here, and this is a Python right here. If you would click on Java, it would take you to another tab, and there's code for your JavaScript. Obviously, we're in Python, so this is the Python code that you're accustomed to. If you hit run, here's the shell. You can clear the shell, and obviously you can clear this out as well, and you can type in here. It just doesn't save it. Okay, so let me go back into our notes. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take a look at a list. This is new for all coding students. We haven't talked about lists. If you're in QBasic, you haven't talked about it. This is probably the most powerful way of creating variables in your code. Okay, so our objective is I'll help you out with some of the definitions. We're going to use that emulator to go through and try to determine what this script is displaying. Looking at the output, we're going to talk about length, append, insert, delete, all for the list. And then finally, there is a little practice where you can use the emulator and a list to go through and get a result right here. And then once you're done with this, you can turn this in through Google Classroom. Okay, so list. A versatile data type grouping data. A list is written with data separated by commas, and I'll say square brackets. One thing with Python is a list does not have to be the same database, data type. So for example, here we have name, brackets, and then Abby in double quotes, a comma, then Cody and Devin, all separated with commas. Age are your brackets, and then the corresponding ages separated with commas. These are integer values, here are string values. And interestingly enough, Python, for player here, you have multiple different data types in a list. It's pretty handy. So maybe it's the baseball player, name is Joe, 11 would possibly be probably his grade level, maybe his height, 6.0, he's left-handed, and the jersey number is 20. So we can list all the characteristics of a player and intermix the data types. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to the emulator and plug this in. I have done that already. In the emulator, all I did was just type this in here. Let's see me back out. So I will, print name. So I'm going to print this variable, which is a list. It is listing several elements in the list. So if I do print this variable name, run the shell, it actually lists all the stored values in that list. If I were to put a bracket 0, very similar to that string that we did the other day. This is going to, if I run it, it's Abby. So what this is saying is that Abby is our very first data or first element in this list. Now we always start with 0, so of course Cody should be element number 2. So 0, 1, 2, go ahead and run it, and there's Cody. Okay, so going back to our notes, go ahead and fill this in. This was Abby, Ben, Cody. Actually, you might even be able to copy and paste it, to tell you the truth. And Devin. Let's go ahead and the next one, it should have been, well, that would be Abby. Let's go ahead and just see if we can do that copy and paste. What was that? Name, index 0, give it a run. Yeah, I should be able to easily copy and paste. That should make your life a little bit easier. That's nice, even makes it blue as well. Okay, so go through and answer, or complete what the output would be for this table. Mix it up a little bit. You might even be able to copy this into your emulator. Let me just give that a shot here. Oh, that's even. Let me clear the shell so I don't see that and run it. Okay, so if I am copying, pasting, let's see what it might not like. I'm going to assume the double quotes. That always seems to be a problem. Some of you guys coming from QBasic probably know what I mean. So I'm just kind of curious, is that going to be okay? Let me clear the shell. Let me run it. Oh, there we go. So if you're going to copy and paste from our notes, it's probably going to be issues with the double quotes. It never transfers well. Okay, so that kind of concludes my video. Oh, I better answer some of these questions. Define a list. Each element item in a list has an index number. So, like I said, Abby was 0, Ben and Cody and Devin. And we always start with 0. Always start with 0 in a list. Same thing as our string that we talked about the other day in class. I would like you guys to be able to answer these just by applying these scripts of code. You should be able to figure out with what len, what that method is doing, that operation is doing. Also append. And if you have questions, shoot me an email. We are not going to meet together in Zoom, but I will meet through Zoom if you guys have individual questions. All right, looking forward to hearing from you, and if not, I will see you on Monday.